Hey guys, this is section 2 of solving inequalities, and today you're going to learn how to solve multi-step inequalities, and this is just like multi-step equations, except you have an inequality. Okay, so we're going to go over real quick what we talked about the last couple times, and we want to talk about which problems you know you have to flip the inequality. Okay, and well, number one, which one of these would you have to flip the inequality? Well, you know that you have to flip whenever you multiply or divide each side by a negative. So what's your only option? Well, in this case, it's only C, because you would have to multiply by -5 on both sides, and that would make you flip the inequality. Okay, well, what about number 2? What do you think, A, B, or C? Well, in this case, you would have to divide A by -4, and that would make you flip each side, or flip the inequality there. And number 3, you want to decide which one you have to flip, and this one, of course, would be B, because you would have to divide each side by a -8 in order to flip the inequality there. Okay, so let's go ahead and go over these steps of solving inequalities. Okay, so in this blank here, you should have, this is how to solve an inequality. Okay, this is how to solve an inequality. And remember, I told you that this is exactly like solving equations. So our steps are going to be the same as solving equations. So step number 1, you're going to distribute. Okay, so step 1 of solving inequalities is to distribute. The next one is to combine like terms. So distribute, combine like terms, collect x's on same side. Distribute, combine like terms, collect x's on same side. Step 4, undo addition and subtraction. And lastly, undo multiplication and division. So here's our 5 steps that we should be familiar with from solving equations, except now we're going to apply them to solving inequalities. Okay, so make sure you have these steps down, and then we will do a few examples. All right. Okay, so let's go through a few examples here. On number 1, well, we know we don't have the first 3 steps, but we have to undo addition and subtraction. So we want to undo the subtraction with addition. So let's add 4 to both sides, just like we would an equation. Those 4's are going to go away. They're going to cancel. They're by. And then we'll bring down everything we have left. We have a 2x. We have a less than sign. And minus 16 plus 4 would give us -12. And then, of course, we undo multiplication with division. So divide each side by 2. And those 2's would cancel out. And that would give us x is less than, and -12 divided by 2 gives us -6. Okay, so we're doing these exactly like we would a 2-step equation back from a few units ago. So let's try another one real quick. This time, we have to undo the subtraction with addition on both sides. So let's add 8. Those 8's cancel out, they go away. Now let's bring down everything we have left. We have a -4x. We have a greater than sign, and we know -28 plus 8 gives us -20. Okay, let's finish this guy off. To undo that 4 and the x, we have to divide each side. Well, what do we have to divide by? We need to divide by that -4. Those -4's cancel out, so we have an x, but remember what happens when we divide by a negative on both sides. We have to flip the inequality, and then -20 divided by -4 would give you a positive 5. Okay, so make sure you remember what you have to do to inequalities if you divide by negative on both sides. Okay, let's try a word problem here. Okay, it says qualified applicants must have at least have more than 5 years of experience. So they need more than 5 years of experience. So let's go ahead and say our variable is y for years of experience, and we know that we have to 5 years. So what would end up our inequality end up being? Well, we know we have to have more than, remember. Okay, so what inequality would throw in? We'd throw in our more than inequality. Okay. All right, let's try a few more types here. Okay, well, this type shows a lot of different steps to us. We have to distribute. Remember, distribute, you multiply everything on the outside by everything on the inside. Well, negative 3 times 3 gives us 9. And then negative 3 times x would give us a negative 3x. And then we just have less than 16. And so once we distribute, we can go ahead and do our two-step equation like we normally would. So then you would undo this positive 9 by subtracting 9 on both sides. Those 9s would then cancel out, and we would bring everything we have left down. So we have a negative 3x is less than, and 16 minus 9 would give us 7. Okay, last step here. We're going to divide each side by the number in front of x, which is negative 3. And those negative 3's cancel. And we'd bring down our x, and since we divided each side by a negative, we go ahead and flip our inequality around. And then we can bring down our negative 7/3 as our final solution there. Okay, so that is one that involves distribution. Okay, let's try one more here. Okay, on this one we want to get 4/5 x by itself. So we want to get this 1/2 on the other side. So since it's a positive 1/2, let's go ahead and subtract 1/2 on both sides. And if you do that, you know those 1/2s cancel out, and you can bring everything else down. So we'd have a 4/5 x is greater than or equal to, and we would want to go ahead and take 2/5 and add or subtract 1/2 from it. And we could do that on our calculator by typing 2abc5 minus 1abc2, and that would end up giving us minus 1/10. Okay? So then our last step would be to undo the multiplication between 4/5 and x, so we would want to divide each side by 4/5. Okay, those 4/5 cancel on this side, and then we would have x is greater than or equal to negative 1abc10, let's put that in our calculator, divided by 4abc5. And that would give us minus 1/8. Okay, so this problem seems complicated, but really if you take it step by step, it's not bad at all. Okay, now I want you by yourself to go ahead and try this one right here, and I want you to try this one right here. Okay, go ahead and give those a try for me, and then we'll come up with some solutions afterward. All right, before we try the last couple here, I got a quick joke for you. Did you hear about the Italian chef that died? He passed away. You like it. All right, so let's try a couple of these word problems here and write an inequality to represent each. Okay, so the first one says there must be at least 20 club members present in order to hold a meeting. Okay, so let's go ahead and write an inequality. We want M to represent club members, and we have 20 in there. But it says we must have at least, so that means greater than or equal to. So let's go ahead and put greater than or equal to. Okay, the next one, it says due to a medical condition, a hiker can only hike in areas with an elevation no more than 5,000 feet. So we have E for elevation, we have 5,000 feet, and we can have no more than 5,000. So our elevation can be 5,000, but it must be that or less. So we would have less than or equal. Okay, I would like you to give this one a try on your own. See ya.